Hello and welcome to North Star Stamper. How is everybody today? Let me know you're watching and where you are. I'm Sue Kramer. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Minnesota. All right, there we are. I think we're ready to go. I guess my video's a little different today than sometimes. Let me know how you're doing. I know a lot of the country is having all kinds of stuff going on with the weather. I just saw that the Yellowstone National Park closed all their entrances because of flooding, and I know there's heat everywhere. We are expecting temperatures in the upper 90s tomorrow with heat index in the triple digits. So Anne, I don't know if you're watching yet. She often watches. It's my sister, and she makes fun of us that I live in Antarctica, and tomorrow it's not going to be Antarctica in Minnesota. It's going to be the Saharan Desert. So I hibernate in the basement, so I get to stamp when it gets that hot. So welcome, welcome. Let's see. I don't know what else I normally do. I think I'll just show you the card I prepped for tonight and what we're doing. So this is where you can find me. NorthStarStamper.com is the best place to find the most information. So if you go there, you'll learn about me, learn about what I've been up to. I had an annual catalog party a couple weeks ago. You can find information about that there. You can contact me through there. So, and there's links to all my socials through NorthStarStamper.com. So welcome and thank you for joining me. All right. Hello, hello. All right. Anne's laughing. All right. We are doing simple stamping. Stamps, ink, and paper. And I need some water already. So I was thinking about what makes this card work. Because it literally is stamps, ink, and paper. I personally wouldn't add any bling to it. I wouldn't add any ribbon. The one thing I thought you could do, let me grab my take your pick tool. Being that excuse me, that there are straight lines, you could stamp the kite on a separate piece of paper, cut it out with scissors, and then add a layer, you know, pop it up with dimensionals. Would add a little more interest, but I kind of like the card just like it is. I should make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Oh boy, my tablet is very delayed. It doesn't even show the picture of this card yet. So I was thinking about, why does this card work? So I wonder what you think. What about this card tells you you're done with it? I guess that's the best way to put it. And go ahead and type in the comments or contact me, because I really do want to know, because I will probably be doing more simple stamping in the future. Just, I'm going to put it in my newsletter this week. With the cost of everything, the gas, the groceries, just things are skyrocketing. So I want to be able to help you as a crafter use what you have. So I'm assuming that people have stamps, ink, and paper. So I want to talk about how we can create beautiful cards using just stamps, ink, and paper. So that's kind of where my thinking, how it got there. I was looking at some other simple stamping cards online, and I noticed a lot of use of white space. So I think that's one thing that makes it work for this. The clouds to me were a little funny, because usually the sky is blue and the clouds are white, but I had a stamp, so I just used blue. But you get the idea. I thought about using our cloud punch, but the dimensions were wrong. It's really big compared to these kites. So anyway, another thing is adding the layer of, in this case I used Night of Navy instead of black, around my white base here, and then just coordinating the colors. So I'm not sure what else makes this card work. So I honestly do want to know what your thoughts are. So we're going to make similar cards using the same stamp set, and this is the Kite Delight. And this one is being retired at the end of this month, and I'm kind of sad because I haven't used it very much, which led me to use it today. And this is on sale this month, or through the end of the month, for $12.60. You can't go wrong with a stamp set with lots of images, plus some fun sentiments, bright, bold, cheerful, and I needed birthday cards for young people, so that's kind of why we're doing what we're doing today. So I will share with you that I have some layers already cut. So my Night of Navy, I have card bases, and I think we're going to make them all, just it adds a little more interest to make the Z-fold like that. So this is Parakeet Party, 4 1/4 by 11, scored in half at 5 1/2, and I didn't score these the second time at 2 3/4. Score that good. Yeah, my tablet is way slow. All right, so a card base, 4 1/4 by 11, scored in half, and then one side a half again. So 5 1/2 and 2 3/4. The Night of Navy is just an 1/8 inch smaller, and I had to write these down. So that's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. If you have the Stampin' Up trimmer, ours are marked in 1/16. So that's 2 little tick marks less than your basic card size of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I have my larger white layer, is the one I use the most often, is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I decided to make my inside white smaller than this, so in case I don't get it exactly where I want it, there'd be very little chance. So as long as I keep it away from the edges on the inside, there's very little chance. I'll turn that over. There's very little chance that you'll see the inside when you're done stamping. So I'm going to make all these cards the same way. So this first one was Polished Pink. We're going to use Parakeet Party. And then my third color, we're going to make quickly these two cards at least. Poppy Parade. I usually go to Real Red, but I decided to use Poppy Parade instead. Let me get my layers going here so I know what's what. And I want to look at comments real quick. Oh, I need to score that again, don't I? And the larger white. And I have extra large whites in case I make a mistake. Let's score this one more time, and I'll try to do this while I look at comments. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Kathy says the sun in yellow makes it work. So having more colors, you think? Or having things stamped in different colors? Or are you saying just the contrast between the colors and the sun brings it together? Because I was thinking, and I didn't look for a stamp set that I might have, about maybe an animal with some greenery around it. I saw a really lovely card, and I looked up the hashtag simplestamping, and what made me think of the white space was this card I saw. It was stamped in greenery all around with a sentiment in the middle. It was actually this way, and it was greenery all around with, I think it was just thank you. And that's when I realized that it was the white space for me on this card that kind of makes it work. Let's see. The contrast. Yes, Kathy says the contrast between colors and the sun. All right. Anne agreed it didn't need anything else, and she likes the fold. I thought the fold, it just adds something a little different. Kathy said embossing with the new cloud embossing folder would be awesome for the front. Kathy, that would if I had it. I don't have that embossing folder. But that would add just a little texture, you're right, to the front, because it is just the sky. And so the clouds, that would be interesting. Hello, everybody, and thank you all for joining me. All right, let's get busy. Let's get busy. So my biggest one goes in front, the smaller one goes behind. Let's next, I'm going to leave this here so you can see. And sorry, I do need to stamp kind of sideways, and I'll try to remember to show you after every stamp. All right, so it is a photopolymer, and I already have them on blocks. Photopolymer, I like to use my Stampin' Pierce mat under my scratch paper. Let's make sure it's centered on there. We're going to start with the sun, so I'm going to use the same colors. The sun is Daffodil Delight. That's a nice sun color. We used to have a color called Summer Sun. And it was a little more gold than Daffodil Delight. Ink, 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 ink. And I'm going to keep it up in the corner. And I'm going to put them away. I don't want to make any. Let's do the kite next. And we're going to use Parakeet Party. This is one of the new ink colors. It's such a fun, bright color. And we're going to use this one that kind of looks like it's soaring. Well, they all look like they're soaring, but this one, I don't know, it's the shape of the... And we'll make it go the other way, just for variety. Isn't that pretty? Nice bright colors. Oh my goodness. We needed it today. Today was a dreary day, and tomorrow we're expecting sun and heat. Next, I'm going to put on the tail. So I put the two tails on the same block. This is an H block. And I'm connecting this, the end with the string to the end of the kite here. Make sure you can see. And so I put the string that I'm going to attach to the kite on this end, and then if I want to use the stars, it'll be on this end. We're going to do the bows in the same color, ink, 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 ink. Being photopolymer, I can see exactly where it's going. I'm careful not to rock because I did get some ink on my block, not on the stamp itself. All right, I did use one tiny little technique. On this one, I put the cloud behind the kite, and I just used a Post-it note because these are straight lines. I can just line up my Post-it note there. I'm going to go ahead with the Pool Party ink again. We can make blue clouds in a white sky. It's kind of funny, but that's all right. So ink, 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 ink. And I'm just going to stamp right over the top of my Post-it note. And that is going to put that cloud behind my kite. So you stamp the front image first, cover it up, and then stamp what you want behind it second. And then you can see where the image is on the Post-it note. Let's add a couple more, or one more. I usually like to do things in threes. We'll see how that looks when I'm done. I can always add more after. And as I mentioned, I'm using Night of Navy instead of black. I really like our dye ink colors, and for whatever reason, we don't have black right now. We use somebody else's black ink, and I don't know, I re-ink that ink pad and it doesn't stamp quite right for me. So we're using a different color. We're going to put that in the inside. Where are my words? Here they are. Wishes for a carefree day. And we're going to put it on this other side. Just thinking about spacing. I don't know. I thought there would be too much on this side with the sun. And maybe because I turned the kite around or something. I don't know. That was just my thought. All right, we're going to leave that there, and then we're going to get the inside. We're going to do the same thing like we did with the pink one. We're going to stamp the same kite in the same color. Again, Parakeet Party. We'll have this one going off that way. We're going to just match it to the front, so the bows, and I can see right where I'm going to line it up. Isn't that cute? And then for this one, I used the Happy Birthday. I wanted a very simple font so a young person could read it, maybe somebody learning how to read. And I was going to use our Go-To Greetings, which is a new greeting set that has 3 different happy birthdays in it, but it was a script font. So I wanted a very basic font. So that's what I used on this one. But I think we are going to use the one that came in this set. Another Year Flies By Happy Birthday. And again, we're going to do that in Night of Navy. I think right there. And I hope it's straight. I tried not to get my head into view. So there's the inside of our card. We're not done yet, though. I have a new stamp set that has the trademark Stampin' Up on it. It was actually my free one with our last event we had. It's called Limited Edition, so in Night of Navy, it's going to say Made with Love, copyright Stampin' Up on the back of our card, and we can put this together. And we'll have card number 1 done. How's that? That goes on the inside. We'll do that after. Let's see. Oh, Kathy says she doesn't have that embossing folder either, but maybe on her next order. So I put a little bit in the outside, and then if you watched my annual catalog party, I'm putting a little adhesive heart in the middle of all my creations. This doesn't have to be, I don't have to put it on right side up. So this is just a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. So I get it pretty much where I want it to be. And then I turn it over and give it a good rub. Burnishing. All right. And then it should be perfect. On the front here, I'm going to put adhesive right near the edge. And only on, there's my heart. Whoops. Over here. I'm going to hold this down. And if I line this up just right, I should get another 1/16 of an inch all around. Turn it over. Give it a nice burnish. And there's our card. And then if I center this in the middle of the inside, again, it's smaller than my blue, so I don't have to worry about it peeking out. Make sure I do this the right way. Yep. That's upside down. Hold on. There we are. That color coordination with our ink and our paper just amazes me every time. And Stampin' Up! Is so careful about that. We actually had an ink pad they tried twice. They didn't like the way it coordinated or whatever, and they pulled it. So I actually got 2 of those because they kept replacing them. But Stampin' Up! Is so careful about the quality of our products, which I appreciate very much. So there's our first card. So again, I think it's the colors, the white space, the color coordination. That's just what I think. That's what I think. All right, so this one, we're going to do a red, white, and blue one. Make sure I'm stamping on the right layers. Okay, so we're going to use all the stamps, I think. No, I'm not going to be using the one with your friendship. That one I did not pull out. This one, I think we'll still do a yellow sun. I like that little bit of different in it. There it is. Again, Daffodil Delight. I don't know. I'm just used to... Oh, I didn't know there were dots in the sun. I wasn't paying attention to where those dots were because they are on the bottom of the clouds. I guess I should look more carefully at my stamps. So I'm trying to decide if we want Night of Navy or Poppy Parade for our kite, and we're going to use this one. It's not Stars and Stripes, but it's Stars and Dots. And then we're going to use the stars. Where'd it go? The star tail for the bottom. I think we're gonna try it with a Night of Navy. No, we're gonna do Poppy Parade for the kite. I have not used this stamp yet, so I'm going to stamp once. I could have used it on my card. We're going to have it going this way. Hold it for just a second. Oh, look at that. And then our reds usually stain our photopolymer, but if you clean it right away, you usually don't get too much staining. I'm going to put the red away. We'll use Night of Navy for the tail. I thought that'd be kind of cute with navy stars. Yellow stars would be cute too. Maybe we'll do yellow on the inside just to be different. And this one is straight. You know what? See how it's straight? And I kind of want it to be more fluid. So I'm going to clean the ink off this one. This is one of the fun things about photopolymer stamps is you can move them. So I'm going to have it kind of going off at an angle, if it'll stay. Let me dry my block. Let's see, I want it going this way because I want it. So I dried my block and I'm just holding that. Oh, hopefully it'll stay. There we go. So you can bend the photopolymer stamps. It's kind of fun. There, now it looks like it's soaring. Kathy, I thought so too. The crisp, she mentioned the crisp image of the kite. I think it's because there's a lot of ink in my Poppy Parade ink pad because I don't use it that often. And I have that Pierce mat underneath me there. So those would be 2 tips. What am I missing? Missing clouds. We don't want navy clouds. We're going to do pool party clouds. And we're going to put a cloud right here. So I'm going to show just a tiny bit of the red and find my cloud stamp. I have so many stamps on my table. Pool party clouds. Ink, ink, ink. And we're just going to go there. Lift our mask. So I guess, oh, I have a little bit there, but that's right. It works. You know what? We're going to put another cloud right there. And another one there. That actually happened with my first card. I went back and stamped it a second time with a photopolymer. You can see right through them. All right, we need a sentiment on the front. That's not a sentiment. Happy birthday goes on the inside. Where is it? Here it is. We're going to do blue. I think we're going to put it over here. I could see through and it wasn't inked quite as much as I wanted it to be. Again, so it's like, you know, looking at your stamp before you actually put it to the paper. We're going to leave that up because we're going to do the inside. And we're going to do the same kite with this saying, another year flies by, but we're going to start with, oh my goodness, kite. See, there's something on there. We'll turn it over. We're going to go that way. Hold it for a second, and I'm pushing where the stamp is, not on the corners. Oh my goodness, that's such a beautiful stamp. I feel like an artist. And a tail in blue. New blue stars. You know what? Let's be different. I'm cleaning it off really well. We are going to do yellow stars just because I can and I have the ink out. Ink, 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 ink. Oh, cute. And I'm going to put the happy birthday. Another year flies by. Happy birthday. We're going to put this at the top. Leave me room to sign it at the bottom. And before I put it all together, we're going to stamp the Made with Love. And the bottom in the middle. Thank you, Mom. I think they're perfect too. They're simple stamping doesn't have to be boring. Like I said, I'm going to be sharing more of these ideas, I think. And I think having lots of different ink colors helps too. I mentioned a simple card I saw, simple stamping, where it was greenery all the way around. They were all many different colors of green. It wasn't just one color. So I think that plays a lot into it as well. All right, we need some adhesive. This is the front. I kind of like that I stamped on the inside. And my heart on top of the Knight of Navy. There we go. Burnish that, and hopefully that was dry. It didn't get on my card front. It didn't. And then adhesive on our flap. this one I will make sure it's the right way, right side up. And that liquid glue gives me just a minute, or a few seconds I should say. See, it's not quite straight. It gives me a few seconds to adjust it, just like that. And I remembered to put I put the adhesive on the flap so that I knew my card would still open. So I only put it on that part there instead of putting it on the back here. That way I didn't accidentally adhere my card closed. And my inside layer. I will probably grab 3 envelopes, and while my stamps and ink are out, stamp a kite on the envelope. And let's close and finish that. How are we doing on time? I think we're good. We're good. I'm going to grab envelopes. Actually, they're in my adhesive bucket. Let me grab them. We had... You know what? We're going to do this. This is the flap. And we'll do that tail in blue. I thought that was very festive. See, it didn't stamp quite as crisply because I stamped over the edge there, over the flap, but that's all right. They will know what it is. So that was my Poppy Parade. So there's my envelope for that card. My polished pink. I used the flower. This one we'll just put on the flap. It's a little smaller. And we stuck with the polished pink for the tail. That's cute, if I do say so myself. There's our envelope for this card. And Parakeet Party. It'd be fun to do these cards for you know, a child, and you do it in their favorite colors. I used to like to know what nieces and nephews' favorite colors were, and sometimes I would use their favorite color on the card. Quite often pink or purple for the girls. There we go. Look at that. 3 cards with envelopes. I only made 2 of them in half an hour. So there we are. Simple stamping at its best. I think having the right stamp set to do this with made a big difference. And the coordinating cardstocks. So there are my cards for tonight. Thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. Let's see. Oh, Kathy says she's not usually a fan of simple stamping, but these cards are really neat. Thank you, Kathy. I think if you play around with colors and, what's the word I want? Composition, would make a big difference. So maybe I'll recreate that thank you card I saw with all the greens around with just a simple thank you in the middle. I tend to make my thank you cards more simple because I don't think people save them. But anyway, that's what I have for you today. Thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. I've been working on my newsletter, so if you have not signed up for my newsletter, you can go to northstarstamper.com. There is a place for you to sign up for my newsletter there. I send them out weekly, mostly talking about the specials that Stampin' Up! Has going on, and then I always include some inspiration at the end of the newsletter. And this week I'm going to share some of the cards I'm sending to Texas for the card drive that I mentioned earlier. So thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. And I take requests. If there's anything you want to see, a technique, a stamp set, some other product, let me know. I will be back with you next week. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Bye.